Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA, episode 347. I am Brendan. Okay, this is going to be the Jailton Almeida Derek Lewis card, the UFC Fight Night card. We're going to break down the prelims here. If you're looking for the main card, the main event, that's in the last video. This is going to be Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Elizeu, Zaleski, dos Santos, and the rest of the prelims here. All the fights are going to be timestamped, so if you're looking for a specific one, look down below. Subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it if you would do that. Plus, it'll let you know when the next video will come out. All right, let's get into these fights. This one was a slapper. This was, compared to the main card, the prelims weren't that bad. Okay, so again, like my normal disclaimer, or not normal disclaimer, my disclaimer that I said in the first video, if you were a hardcore fan anyway, you probably watch these. If you're almost like a casual fan, you probably don't watch prelims. Go watch the Angela Hill fight just because I like Angela Hill. But seriously, go watch that one just because it's a strawweight. She's an important figure in the strawweight division. She's a really good litmus test for all fighters, and I do recommend going to watch that one. This one was actually fun too. The Fakhretdinov fight was fun to watch. Also, Fakhretdinov, if this video ever makes it to you, I apologize, but I'm going to let you know now. Your name's never going to be that big on the unless I break it into two pieces on the thumbnail. It's just too many letters, man. I don't hate the last name. It's just a lot of letters. All right, Fakhretdinov was in his face, lands a hard left hook, and then a right hand, then a left hook, and dos Santos goes down. Fakhretdinov control, landing some really good damage for 3 minutes. Big right hands landing for Fakhretdinov. Again, as dos Santos circles to the wrong side, Fakhretdinov is just swinging wild as usual, even throwing back fists off a miss. So he would miss. It was a right hand, but I don't want to swing that way because there's stuff here. But he would throw a big right hand, and then most people, what they would do is they would either duck or recover or throw a they could throw a right hook off of that. There's a lot of things that they could do, but mainly you're looking to recover from a big miss like that. You big swing and a miss. He goes like this, yeah, and swings it back. So Fakhretdinov he had nothing but success in this round, shrugging off all the damage that came back at him. It wasn't quite a 10-8, and that was key. You could have given this a 10-8, and I probably wouldn't be mad at you. He was really close to finishing it. It was so close. Oh, it was on the cusp of if dos Santos didn't land the bigger shots that he did in this round to defend himself, I would have given this a 10-8. 37-10 for the striking numbers in favor of Fakhretdinov. I only gave it a 10-9. Wild that both guys are just staying in the pocket, throwing heat. Dos Santos was avoiding most of the big shots that are swinging past him this round, landing some good body kicks in return, finding his own hook. Fakhretdinov was using the knee tap and a stiff arm to get the body lock takedown. Better round for Dos Santos. I don't know if he landed enough, though. And that's true. Like, if you look at the striking numbers here, 27-22 in favor of Fakhretdinov, and I'm sure if you look at the control time, Fakhretdinov had some, and Dos Santos had none. So there's nothing in this round that you could really give to Dos Santos. So I had him up 20-18 for Fakhretdinov. Last round, Dos Santos lands a couple uppercuts in tight, using the knees as Fakhretdinov was pressuring in. Dos Santos started landing some really nice knees and going to the body with the kicks. Dos Santos landing the jab, making Fakhretdinov miss with garbage. Dos Santos landing a nice body kick right up the middle, and Fakhretdinov holds his stomach and goes down. Good liver kick. Dos Santos looking to get the TKO finish with the ground and pound. Could not get it. Here's the thing. If you give this last round a 10-8, it's a draw, which is what I did. I thought Dos Santos had it nearly finished for much of it, but that's the thing is, like, Fakhretdinov could have had a 10-8 in that first round, and it's so close. 43-23 for Dos Santos. I mean, look at the striking differential. It was 27 strikes difference in the first round in favor of Fakhretdinov. The biggest difference is it's the first round, and it happened right as the fight started. Right? Dos Santos recovered in that first round. I'm not disagreeing with the scorecards. I think they get a majority draw here. You look at it. Let's see. Fabio Alves gave the last two rounds to Dos Santos. I don't know about that. And Harrison Pontes, he's the guy who's the hometown banking the hometown favorite wins here, and he gave Fakhretdinov the first 2 rounds, so even he knew better. Saul D'Amato, good card. Halison Pontes, good card, if not by accident. Fabio Alves, questionable card. That second round. Let me know what you guys thought about the second round. Was it closer than I remembered? I thought Fakhretdinov landed enough good shots. 15 headshots there, 9 leg kicks for him. The only thing he wasn't landing was to the body, and I know that affected him in the last round, but it didn't affect him in this one. The pressure, the control. That's a bad card. Not the worst card I've ever seen, because it was at least a competitive round, but that's a pretty bad card. Doesn't cost him the fight. It would have been a draw regardless. But that's kind of stupid. And then even in that, he didn't give Dos Santos a 10, maybe, I don't know. He didn't give him a 10-8 in the last round. So he really liked what he did in the second round, but that last round, he's like, oh, it's about the same. Ridiculous. All right, Vitor Petrino versus Modestas Bukauskas. Man, Bukauskas can't catch a break here. They trade body kicks from distance to the first minute with Bukauskas getting the best of them. Bukauskas gets the low kick and Petrino gets the takedown. Then up, a lift, and a slam. Petrino was on top, but not a lot of damage. I think he got it from the slam. Right? I think that slam was big. I thought the fact that he did have control time, it wasn't so much damage from Bukauskas. I gave that first round of Petrino 10-9. Second round here, Bukauskas lands a hard left and a glancing right hand. It looked like he was starting to find his distance, and then a left hook from Petrino puts Bukauskas down, and Goddard steps in, and it's all over. Not a bad stoppage at all. I guess you could wait for a follow-up punch from Petrino, but I didn't think there was a need for it. So a good stoppage, in my opinion. I think Bukauskas is just caught. He's got some tough breaks, especially that leg injury. All right, Angela Hill versus Denise Gomes. Weird fight. I want to see the striking numbers here. Maybe I was missing something. All right, let's look. Okay, Hill blocks the right hand, pushes Gomes down, right back up in the clinch. Hill with a great knee in the clinch and staying in with the pressure. Gomes fails on a sweep and is on bottom yet again. Gomes landing an uppercut and a big right hook. The knees in the clinch are great for Hill, getting the better of him. Gomes gets the trip and fights for an armbar. Hill fights out of it and gets on top. Gomes landed more in the open and when she was on top in this round. I felt like she had more control time. No, she didn't. Sorry. She didn't have more control time. She had more damage while she was in control time. It says she only landed 1 ground strike. Maybe I'm crazy. She did outland her in here 23-16, so I'm not crazy giving her the first round. I thought, and when she was landing bigger, more damaging shots. Second round here, Hill countered a low kick with her hard right hand. Gomes hits harder and puts more behind her shots. Gomes is landing some nice hooks, but Hill's just landing some great combos going to the body and then up top. Hill's landing pull counters and Gomes lands a nice uppercut. Hill lands like 3 or 4 shots, but then Gomes lands a big one and all that work just gets undone. I felt like Hill wins every position, but Gomes lands more damage. I thought the power and the size differential were just giving it to Gomes. I gave her this round too. So she was down on the scorecard, or she was down in the striking numbers here, 37-33 in favor of Hill in the second round. And she did have some control time for Hill. But if you look at the damage that was done, I felt like Gomes did more damage in this round. So I gave her the first 2 rounds. I had her up 20-18. Last round here, Hill works in another body lock trip. The pressure from Hill's working, and she's landing some nice elbows in the clinch. Great knees to the head in the body lock. Hill picks up a single leg and gets on top. Hill dominated this last round. It was just unfortunate that she couldn't land some more power earlier, in my opinion. So I had a 29-28 for Gomes. But I'm happy for her. She got the win here. And looking at the scorecards here, somebody gave her all 3 rounds. Saul D'Amato gave her all 3 rounds. Well, Saul. I don't know about that. And Saul D'Amato and Dave Torelli, so no home cooking there. Alessandro Vieira. Maybe they saw something or didn't see something that I saw when they were judging. Again, let me know what you guys thought. I didn't think it was a blowout from Gomes. I just felt like the damage that she landed in the second round is more than the damage that Hill landed, and the little bit of grappling that Hill threw in there wasn't enough, especially in that second round. That first round, yeah, the grappling wasn't enough in that second round. The first round, Hill did some great job with grappling, but he didn't do a ton of damage with it, and I thought Gomes landed more damage in that round as well. Let me know what you guys thought. Angela Hill, meanwhile, still doing the damn thing. Good grief. She's not the youngest fighter on the in the UFC, that's for sure. But fighting the who's who. Look at all this. I remember her very first fight in the UFC. Emily Kagan. I remember when she fought Tisha Torres and Rose Namajunas the first time, and Jessica Andrade when she was doing that first run back then against all the killers back then. Ashley Yoder, Nina Nunes, Marina Moroz, Courtney Casey, Randa Marcos, Jody Escobel, don't know that one. Yan Xiaonan, Carnelosi, Hannah Cyphers, Loma Lukbume, Claudia Gadea, Michelle Watterson, Ashley Yoder again, Tisha Torres again, Amanda Lemos, Virna Janjidoba, Lupi Godinez is a new one that everybody's high on. Emily Ducote, Mackenzie Dern, who's everybody's high on, she's great, and Denise Gomes. Dude, she's had a crazy UFC career, fought the who's who in the strawweight division, bend around, had her win streaks, had her loss streaks. She's had a rough go of it. And in those loss streaks, I will remind you, a lot of these split decisions were bullshit. Like her fight against Claudia Gadea was bullshit. That was Angela Hill win. It should have been 4 wins in a row. She probably wouldn't have been fighting Michelle Watterson. She would have been fighting up. Probably would have got a better fight. But do I think? Here's the thing. I love watching her fight. I think she's fantastic. Do I think she has the skills to be the champ at strawweight? Under the current circumstances, no. Given certain circumstances and scheduling, it is possible that she could become champion. She's in there all the time. She stays active. She could be given an opportunity in the top 5. I mean, what is she ranked now? Angela Hill's currently ranked number 12, right? You telling me she couldn't beat Amanda Hebos? That might be a tough fight. Tabitha Ricci. She could win that one. She could point that one. My point is, there's people in here that she could get a point victory over. Man, she's fought all these people too. And through the right circumstances, end up. And how is Alexa Grasso the pound-for-pound champion? Wiley Zhang, whatever. Makes no sense. I refuse. I don't want to talk about pound for pound anymore. Unless it becomes a huge news story again, I really don't want to talk about it. It's such a stupid argument. Doesn't matter. Do I think she beats Zhang? Do I think she beats... I think she can beat Esparza. That's what I'm saying. So here's why it's crazy and why it's not crazy to say that she could become champion. Carla Esparza had just the right night, the right matchup against Rose Namajunas, right? She just had the right night, the right matchup, and got the win and became champion. Angela Hill can beat Carla Esparza. So if somehow Carla Esparza becomes champion again, or there's another circumstance in there. Let's say Tatiana Suarez takes on Zhang Weili, and one of them gets injured, and there becomes like a interim champion. Whatever. The point is, there's a possibility, because she's so active and she stays in there with everybody, and she can point fight with people, that she could have the chips fall her way and become champion. Now that I said all that, do I think that's likely? I wouldn't bet on it, but I wouldn't put it past her. Right? I think we're seeing a better fighter every time she goes out there, and she's putting more wrinkles in her game, but I think we've seen her ceiling as far as where she fits in the hierarchy in the division as it stands right now. Right? And that's maybe she's probably like a top 10 fighter, which this isn't bad. She's not bad. She's really freaking good. It's just she's not the best in the division on any given night. Do you know what I mean? All right. Eduarda Moura versus Montserrat Conjeo Ruiz. Eduarda Moura. Okay, this fight was bad to watch. It's just, holy shit, Moura is gigantic compared to Ruiz, and she missed weight. Not freaking cool. mean, technically a strawweight fight, but she missed weight. Moura dives for the double, pulls guard, and sweeps. Moura works her way to mount and just dominates the whole round on top, and that's a 10-8 round, right? You want to talk about the difference between domination when it comes to grappling and using it effectively and trying to get a finish versus not. Look at this fight versus the main event. And I know you're going to say, like, well, one of them's are heavyweights and they're big guys. And blah. I'm not talking about all the details. I'm just talking about conceptually, you want to talk about using grappling effectively to finish a fight and actively look for a finish. This is how you do it. Moura did it in this fight. And I'm not saying Almeida could have done it that easily. Maybe if he does do it, Derek Lewis gets up and then gets his finish. I'm just saying what he did was not this. 10-8 round for sure. Moura swinging hard, landing a nice knee. Moura catches the kick and gets an easy takedown, and then finally the ref calls it. She just mauled her. She's just no reason to go over this one any more than it is. It's just a bigger person fighting a smaller person. Just dominate her with size and strength. Kaue Fernandes versus Marc Diakiese. Weird fight. Lots of booing in the crowd. Not the most exciting. Fernandes kind of a sourpuss immediately afterwards. They made up afterwards. Look at the striking numbers here. Not a lot of excitement when it comes to striking. Fernandes attacking with the kicks, landing them low, attempting them up high, keeping his range. Diakiese being pushed against the fence, and he uses the under-over to throw and flings Fernandes to the ground. Fernandes uses the omoplata to get space and get back up. Diakiese attempts a spinning kick and gets his back taken, but rolls through, scrambles, gets on top again. Lots of control for Diakiese, but not a lot of damage. I gave this first round to Fernandes. Felt like he did more damage, even though he was on his back for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Roughly. Fernandes had some control time of his own. I felt like he did more damage. Close-ish round, I guess, but I felt like Fernandes won this first one. Second round here. The kicks are still landing for Fernandes, but Diakiese just can't find his range with the striking. Diakiese finally gets in on a body lock, gets the strong squeeze takedown. Another round where Diakiese didn't land anything, but neither did Fernandes. 10-4. Easy round for him. 19-19 going to the third. Both guys looking tired. Diakiese's having an issue with the lead leg. Diakiese might have landed the left hook and Fernandes dropped, but it looked more like he was off balance. I didn't feel like he dropped him. Depends on how you score that, but they tie up in a 50-50 body lock and Diakiese gets the trip. Not an exciting fight, but Diakiese should get the win here, 29-28. Fernandes gets in Diakiese's face and talking, he's talking shit. Well, Diakiese sits on the stool. He starts yelling at him. I'm never a fan of this, not because I feel like you should always control your emotions and be stoic and the perfect individual at all times and I expect perfection. That's not what it is. It's just the timing. If you look at what happens during a fight and the amount of time that you have to settle your differences, and then after the fight, you're angry about it and talking shit, I can understand from a fighter's point of view. I'll put a caveat out here. I've heard from a fighter, right? This was not a private conversation. We were just sitting together on the mats, but from a professional fighter, a really good one. He was just talking. We were just talking back and forth, exchanging pleasantries, and we were talking about a fight that he had, and it was a relatively boring fight. And after the fight was over, they had a discussion, and he basically said, like, dude, you just cost us both money. You cost us money. You cost the fans a fun fight. And, this hurts both of us in the long run because now they think we're boring fighters. Right now, neither one of us is going to get the opportunity, or I'm not going to get the opportunity that I want because you're making the shit boring. Now, I do agree with that sentiment. And I could understand the frustration, especially post-fight, immediately there. Like, you train for 6 months, 3 months, whatever it might be. You dedicate, 18 years. You dedicate your life to this. And then you get out there to perform, and the other person just plays interference the whole time. For those of you League of Legends players out there, here's a crossover for you. For those of you guys out there who play League of Legends, there's some players in the game, some characters in the game whose whole point is to shut down other players and not let them play. That's their whole purpose, is to stop other players from playing the game. And that's how that's their win condition, right? That's how they get a victory, is by stopping the other players from getting to their win conditions. Not that they have a win like this person isn't trying to win the game on their own. They're just stopping the other players from winning. So if you go out there as a fighter and your whole object is to stop the other fighter from winning, but not going to win yourself, you understand the difference, right? I'm not saying that, you go out there to knock him out, I'm going to stop him from winning. No, you're trying to win the fight by knocking him out. You're not trying to stop the other guy from winning. I can understand coming from that perspective of the guy who just essentially got shut down for 15 minutes, why that's frustrating. So I get it, and in the moment, I totally understand. That being said, when you get in someone's face after the fight and you start talking shit, like similar to what happened with Colby Covington and, oh, good grief. Game Brad Masvidal, right? 25 minutes Masvidal had. Landed a couple good shots in there, but he had 25 minutes to settle the beef, handle his business, get the fight done. Couldn't do it. And immediately when that final bell rings, he's there talking shit. His team's talking shit. Everybody's talking shit. They're talking about how he can't fight and how he can't do this and, he just wanted to hold you and this and that. First of all, he held him down repeatedly and landed a ton of punches. Are they meaningful punches individually? No. Do they add up? Yes. And is he constantly looking for a better position and better offense? Always. Right? He's just trying to break you down and wear you down. Like I said, I'm not, I am a fan of grappling and using it. And that's effective grappling in my opinion. Anyway, or not effective grappling, effective and exciting grappling. Let's put that disclaimer on there. So I'll just end it here. I know this video's run a little bit long, but I figure if you're here still on a prelim video, you might wanna you'll bear with me. I look at these guys making decisions after fights like it's a schoolyard fight, like you're in the gym, like you just had the opportunity, man. You just had that time. You were given the opportunity. I mean, we've seen fighters, swing on him. Paul Daly, punched him after the fight. And I think that wasn't Fitch. It was the Faker. It doesn't matter. But we've seen that happen before. Dude, you just had time for that. This is what we train for. This is what you do. And you just had time to do it. You can't be upset afterwards. Sorry, you can be upset afterwards, but you can't go try and if only I had 2 more minutes. No. You just had 15 minutes. You just had 25 minutes. That's not how this works. You signed on the dotted line. You know the deal. You know the rules. You know the time frame. You didn't get it done. And if the other person just shut you down, and that's frustrating, you're more than... And here's the thing. If you go out and say, dude, that's bullshit. You just cost us fight. You just cost us money. You cost us a fun fight. You cost the fans a fun fight to watch. You're boring. You're putting out a boring product. Paul Daly again against John Fitch. Boring. You're costing us viewers. Yelling at him. Fine. I mean, I think he should be focusing on getting up. But that kind of stuff, I'll take that all day over after the fight, talking shit and getting in their face, acting like you're some Billy badass. You just had 15 minutes, Mr. Billy, and you didn't get it done. All right, that is it. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. I would really appreciate it. Let you know when the next video is coming out. Let me know what you guys thought. For those of you guys who made it this far, put some comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought about some of the good fights on the card, right? Let me know what you guys thought about Angela Hill. Did you guys have that for her? Let me know. I appreciate y'all. All right, guys. Hope you have an amazing week. Love y'all.